smashing against the schooner's side, slid over the ridge and was swallowed up in the damp dusk. "Take a hold here, and keep ringin' steady," said Dan, passing Harvey the lanyard of a bell that hung just behind the windlass. Harvey rang lustily, for he felt 2 lives depended on him; but Disko in the cabin, scrawling in the logbook, did not look like a murderer, and when he went to supper he even smiled dryly at the anxious Harvey. "This ain't no weather," said Dan. "Why, you an' me could set that trawl. They've only gone out jest far enough so as not to foul our cable. They don't need no bell reely." Clang, clang, clang. Harvey kept it up, varied with occasional rub-a-dubs, for another half hour. There was a bellow and a bump alongside. Manuel and Dan raced to the hooks of the dory tackle. Long Jack and Tom Platt arrived on deck together, it seemed, one half the North Atlantic at their backs, and the dory followed them in the air, landing with a clatter. "Nary a snarl," said Tom Platt, as he dripped. "Danny, you'll do yet." "The pleasure of your comp'ny to the banquet," said Long Jack, squelching the water from his boots as he capered like an elephant and stuck an oilskinned arm into Harvey's face. "We do be condescendin' to honour the second ha'af wid our presence." And off they all 4 rolled to supper, where Harvey stuffed himself to the brim on fish chowder and fried pies, and fell fast asleep just as Manuel produced from a locker a lovely 2-foot model of the Lucy Holmes, his first boat, and was going to show Harvey the ropes. Harvey never even twiddled his fingers as Penn pushed him into his bunk. "It must be a sad thing, a very sad thing," said Penn, watching the boy's face, "for his mother and his father, who think he's dead. To lose a child, to lose a man child." "Get out of this, Penn," said Dan. "Go aft and finish your game with Uncle Salters. Tell Dad I'll stand Harve's watch if he don't keer. He's played out." "Very good boy," said Manuel, slipping out of his boots and disappearing into the black shadows of the lower bunk. "'Speck he make good man, Danny. I no see he is any so mad as your papa he says. Eh, what?" Dan chuckled, but the chuckle ended in a snore. It was thick weather outside, with a rising wind, and the elder men stretched their watches. The hours struck clear in the cabin. The nosing bows slapped and scuffled with the seas. The foc'sle stovepipe hissed and sputtered as the spray caught it, and the boys slept on, while Disko, Long Jack, Tom Platt, and Uncle Salters, each in turn, stumped aft to look at the wheel, forward to see that the anchor held, or to veer out a little more cable against chafing, with a glance at the dim anchor light between each round. End of chapter.